Mark? Mark, are you there? Mark? Mark, are you awake? Come on, Mark.
Hey, Cliff, what's up?
Sorry I got you up so early. I got a real problem, man.
What?
Ryan Reynolds canceled on me. He was supposed to host tonight, and another commitment came up, and he just can't. And you can do it, right? Yeah, I know you can. I'll have the envelopes to you today. It's great. You'll be fantastic.
uh,
No, I know you will. You've hosted the awards before. You were a bang up job before. We had huge crowd. You'll be amazing.
okay.
So you'll do it, correct?
Sure.
Okay. We'll get the promotions out. We'll let everybody know that you will be our host for the 2022 Aurora Awards. Mark, are you there? Are you getting ready for the ceremony?
Hey, Cliff. Yeah, I'm almost ready. What's up?
Great. Look, we were really fine before having Ryan Reynolds as the host. I mean, full screen Ryan Reynolds, you can't beat that. But, last time it was just you, and maybe could we get a co-host to go with you? Two for the price of one?
Yeah, sure, Cliff. Whatever you say.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure I can come up with something.
Perfect.
Welcome to the 2022 Aurora Awards with your host, Mr. Ryan, with your hosts, Mark Leslie Lefebvre and Liz May Anderson. Featuring appearances by Hall of Fame inductees Julie Trineda, Ed Greenwood, Hayden Trenum. Also appearances by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, Barb Goller-Smith, Ado Van Belcom, Joe Walton, Kelly Robson, Liz Westbrook Trenum, Samantha Pico, and more. Well, here we are. Liz, thanks for joining me at the last minute here. I really appreciate your help here.
Well, thank you so much, Mark, for inviting me to this auspicious occasion at the Aurora Awards. Thank you so much, and welcome everyone to the 2022 Aurora Awards.
Indeed. We are broadcasting this from our home in Waterloo, Ontario. This is hosted by When Words Collide, which is in Calgary, Alberta, but I believe we owe a territorial acknowledgement to where Liz and I are, and I would just like people to think while Liz is doing the territorial acknowledgement for the area that we're in, that you take some time to appreciate and respect the elders and the ancestors who graced these lands before us.
Thank you, Mark. Each one of us, regardless of our location within Canada, acknowledges the enduring presence and deep traditional knowledge, laws, and philosophies of the Indigenous peoples with whom we share this land today. Mark and I would like to acknowledge that the land that we live, create, and work on is situated on the lands traditionally used by the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Chinootan people. We are all treaty people with a responsibility to honor all our relations.
Thanks very much, Liz. And I just wanted to first, before we begin the awards, talk a little bit about the history of the Aurora Awards, just for people who may not be familiar with them. So, for example, the Aurora Awards, they're Canada's annual English language science fiction and fantasy awards. Now, the Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association, often referred to as KISFA, members across Canada are the nominators and the voters. And the nominees, the winners, and the voters must all be Canadian, and obviously the voters need to be members of KISFA. Now, authors Auroras have been presented since 1980, so it's quite a tradition here that we have to recognize the greatness of speculative imaginations in Canadian creators. And the name Aurora has been officially used since 1991. In 1980, one Aurora Award was given out, but since then we've split off into multiple categories. And later on tonight, you're going to hear about some of the changes that were voted in by members for next year as well. And the Aurora Awards are closest, for those who may not be familiar, if you're watching this from outside of Canada, closest to the Hugo Awards in terms of the method by which the Auroras are selected. And they're financed by Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association members, which is an annual $10 membership. And additionally, they're supported by each year's host convention. And this year, as I mentioned, we are hosted by When Words Collide. Now, I have a pin here. And Liz, you're wearing a pin as well, right?
I am, actually. I was so excited to get this during our 2021 Aurora nominee selection.
And that is because I got this for my first-time nominee, and you got yours for your first-time nominee.
I did last year.
We should pay honor to those who will be receiving these pins in the mail. Let's have
exciting.
a look. Yeah, this year's first-time nominees
are.
And congratulations to all of the first-time nominees. Congratulations to all of the amazing nominees that make up this amazing, incredible, imaginative, speculative fiction, science fiction, and fantasy field that we are so honored to be a part of. Now, speaking of honoring, I think it's time for us to induct some of our Hall of Fame inductees. And to do that, we have Clint Budd, from a board member from the KISFA, who's going to introduce each of this year's amazing inductees into the Hall of Fame.
Delighted to see that one of the awards that she's had was from the University of Waterloo, which is obviously the university that she went to, because the award is the Alumni of Honor. She's won 4 Auroras. I'm surprised that she hasn't even won more than that. And she's won an award from Romantic Times, which is really interesting in itself. The important thing, I think, with Julie is that she has held out her hand to others over the course of her career. I've always been aware of that, the amount of help that she gave to other people and the various ways in which she found to do that. I could go into a listing of all of the books that Julie's written, and there's a great many, and short stories and anthologies and the rest of it. But the recognition that the Hall of Fame gives is for two things. It's a career-wide recognition. It's not something that's just for this year or just this particular piece of work. It's reaching out and giving back and being part of the whole wonderful science fiction and fantasy world. And again, she's given career guidance, and she's not only offered that to people personally, but she's written about it. She's written a number of articles on career guidance.
The first time I saw the Hall of Fame statue and read the names on it, my first thought was, wow, all these amazing creative people were Canadian? Shows what I knew then, doesn't it? I know better now. It's a theme, by the way. When I look back, I've done nothing but learn what I didn't know about being an author, an editor, and a fan. My mom, Joyce Starrett, gave me her typewriter so I could write stories and learn to type. My first publisher, Trudy Rising, taught me how many caring, hard-working folks it takes to make a book. My first editor, Jonathan Botnick, told me about this thing called the convention. Ad Astra it was, where I met one of my dearest friends, Ruth Stewart, who told me about the Aurora Award and what a consuite was. And suffice to say, I found my people. Oh, the writing thing. Right, that's Roger's fault, my other half and partner in all things. I'd still be tucking unfinished stories in the filing cabinet if he and Trudy and Jonathan hadn't pushed me to make the effort to sell one. At the time, I was writing and editing nonfiction science. Roger and I had a publishing house, Chineda Publishing, Inc. The mere notion of sharing my private stories was terrifying. They persisted. I picked the fattest folder and punked away at it at night. Then I did finish. And I discovered how addictive the feeling was to write the end, to complete something of my own. I couldn't wait to do it again. Who knew? Not me. That story, 1,000 Words for Stranger, was published 25 years ago by Daw Books, and Sheila Gilbert has been my editor ever since. Family ever since. Thank you. And my thanks to the rest of my flesh and blood who've been with me all along. And I have authors of my own, including Mark, having the joy of editing science fiction and fantasy anthologies for Trudy and for Sheila and others, Tales from the Wonder Zone, Space Inc., art by Jean-Pierre Normand and Larry Stewart. More, I got to let other writers play in the worlds of thousands. In Tales from Plexus, the cover by Roger, and how circular is that? But the biggest surprise of all, I learned I have readers, people who gifted me with their time, who fell in love with my characters and worlds, who came along with my leap from science fiction to fantasy and back again, who are in very many instances friends and colleagues. Thank you. Which brings me to the fan part. I love what I do because I love what you do. The creatives out there, using your imaginations to soar and take us with you. The community that never tires of answering questions, mine and yours. The pros who keep us going, like my agent, Sarah Megabo. Like Ed Greenwood, building worlds and wonder enough to fill a planet. Like Hayden Shredholm, publishing, editing, and writing powerful and important works. We're names on a statue now, friends. Thank you, members of the Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association, for this astonishing tribute. Thank you, Mark Lefebvre and Convention, for hosting this ceremony. And I hope it's okay with everyone if I keep writing. I kind of love it. Who knew?
Hayden Shredholm. Hayden is a writer in a number of ways. He is an author and a short story writer, and he's won a number of awards in both those areas. But one of the important things about Hayden's career is that at a certain point, he became a publisher. He bought Bundoran Press, and he ran it as the managing editor. And in so doing, he gave a boost to others because there are so few publishers in Canada that handle science fiction and fantasy. More now than there were, but it's always been a very thin field. And our authors, of course, have always had to go to the States. But Hayden gave that opportunity to people. The other thing that Hayden has done that is kind of unusual among authors is that he is also a playwright, and his plays have been produced in a number of places.
I'd like to start by thanking the Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association for inducting me into the Hall of Fame. It is a great honor. I'd also congratulate my fellow inductees, Julie Trineda and Ed Greenwood. Great company to keep. The Greek philosopher Heraclitus said, "The only constant is change." I feel seen. I have lived in 8 communities and 6 provinces and territories. I have degrees in 2 completely different fields. I have had at least 5 distinct careers and something like 50 different employers, including myself. I was the worst boss. I've even been married 4 times, so I seem to have finally got that right. Through all this, there have only been 2 constants: my love of and engagement in science fiction, and my belief in the power of progressive politics. I've always felt the 2 things were connected, though I may be biased. I can't remember precisely the first science fiction novel I read. It may have been Robert Heinlein or Isaac Asimov, but there's a good chance it was Andre Norton. She was certainly one of my early favorites, and I still have a first edition copy of Witchworld. I was about 10 in any case, because I was getting most of my books from the Lay Library in Amherst, Nova Scotia, which was replaced by a new facility before I turned 12. I remember climbing the stairs and browsing the stacks and seeing a whole row of books with little pink stickers of rocket ships on the spine. It was my first experience of the genre ghetto, though I certainly didn't think of it that way at the time. The librarian and my parents were just happy I was a voracious reader, not just of science fiction, but of other books, of any other book I could get my hands on. Science fiction was my first and deepest love, and I read everything from Mary Shelley to H.G. Wells to the pulps of the 30s, the golden age of the 50s, and the new wave of the 60s. Harlan Ellison, Ursula K. Le Guin, Philip Jose Farmer, Samuel Delany, Octavia Butler, Michael Moorcock, and a host of others influenced my taste and stimulated my thinking about the future. As a teenager, science fiction and its relatives, fantasy and comic books, drove a lot of my decisions, not all of them good ones. My lust for more and more books made me into an entrepreneur. I picked and sold berries, mowed lawns, shoveled snow, anything to get money. By 14, I was selling greeting cards and novelties door to door and probably knocked on half the doors in my town of 10,000. And almost all of that money went into books and comics. Well, and chemistry sets and telescopes. By 16, I had a regular part-time job working at the best of all places, the public library. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have done any of it if it weren't for science fiction, because if truth be told, I am an incredibly lazy person by nature. But human nature can't defeat science or, it appears, science fiction. Science fiction also drove me at the age of 13 to regularly hitchhike 50 kilometers, keeping it a close secret from my parents, to visit the United Bookstore in Moncton, to buy used paperbacks and search the stacks of old comics for gems at a nickel a piece. I actually bought Journey into Mystery number 83, the first appearance of Thor, which apparently is now worth about $200,000. I wish I still had it, but, well, I mentioned the previous marriages, right? It also led me to my first and only criminal act. I was in a bookstore, and there were 3 science fiction books I absolutely had to have, but I only had money for 2. So I bought the 2 and stole the other one. It was so easy, I did it again. But then my conscience got the better of me, sort of. I wanted to go back and pay for them, but was too embarrassed. I'm afraid it is a stain I shall carry to my grave. On the brighter side, science fiction stimulated my interest in science. As a kid, I had several increasingly complex chemistry sets, a microscope, 2 telescopes, electronics kits, and stacks of science books. Many were presents from my working class parents. The rest I bought myself. My father would also use his pocket knife to donate blood and skin cells for me to examine with my microscope and make crude drawings of them. Great times. I excelled in school, especially in the maths and sciences, and went on to take a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry under full scholarship. That led to my very first publication, not a science fiction short story, but a co-authored paper in the Canadian Journal of Chemistry. A career in chemistry seemed on the horizon, but it was not to be. I mentioned my belief in the power of progressive politics. Quite a leap of faith growing up in the most conservative place in Nova Scotia. I served on my first NDP constituency executive at 14, helped organize a student strike at 17, and attended my first provincial convention later the same year. I took political science and sociology courses as my art selectives. And in my 4th year, I switched from chemistry, though I did finish my BSc, to social and political thought, and went on to do my master's in the same area. I was even accepted to do a PhD, but change. Instead of studying politics, I ran for office twice, which started a decade of involvement in electoral politics, unionism, and a wide range of social causes. But even though I spent my 20s enmeshed in politics and public service, I didn't forget my first love. In 1979, I attended my first science fiction convention in Halifax, where I met Spider and Jeannie Robinson and Theodore Sturgeon. My first Worldcon was in Baltimore in 1983, where I had a brief encounter with Isaac Asimov. Since then, I've attended dozens of conventions across Canada and the USA, and 9 Worldcons as well. I started as a fan and con volunteer and organizer, but as I started writing my own stories in the early 90s, I graduated to panelist and even guest of honor at a couple of smaller conventions. Along the way, I met mentors who became friends. Indeed, some of my closest friends came to me through science fiction, including Rob Sawyer, Derek Kunskin, Matt Moore, and of course, my wife and sometimes writing collaborator, Liz Westbrook-Trenholm. It somehow seems inevitable that I would take one more step in my ever-changing relationship with science fiction. When the opportunity came to buy the publishing house that had nurtured my first novels, I seized it and spent 8 years as publisher and managing editor, running, with Liz and Mike Reimer, Bundoran Press. I did that while still working on Parliament Hill for 15 years, advising an Indigenous senator from the Northwest Territories. But what does it all mean? All this change, all this constant engagement in science fiction and progressive politics. I said I think they are linked, connected, and that connection is the future. Science fiction at its best, like politics at its best, is always about the possibility of a better world. Even when science fiction delves into dystopia and the real world seems to be following its lead, there's always light somewhere, a belief that people of goodwill and determination can find a way through. The crisis can be solved, and the disaster averted. Maybe that seems jejune. Maybe I only have hope and faith because I've lived a charmed life. Well, my father died when I was 24. My mother fell into dementia and didn't know who I was. I participated in the wreck of 3 marriages. I've twice been so broke, I didn't know where next week's meals were coming from. I witnessed the murder of Nathan Cirillo at the War Memorial in Ottawa. I've fought for causes that failed. I've lost family and friends to death and dispute. But I still believe that tomorrow can be better than today. I still believe that I can write a story or a polemic that will make a positive difference to someone somewhere. I still support causes, even seemingly lost ones, with my voice, my vote, and my money. I still believe and do those things because science fiction told me that that is the way the world can work. So to finish with a quote from another philosopher, "The future's so bright, I have to wear shades." Thank you.
Our next inductee, Ed Greenwood. Ed is a published author. I was looking down the list of books and articles, anthologies that he's worked on, and it just went on and on and on and on. I could spend probably the next hour just going through all of that. He has been very, very active, and he's participated fully in the field throughout his career. I suspect that Ed was a writer before he first launched into games. But what he did was that he was the original creator of the Forgotten Realms game series. And that series has influenced a lot of other things in his career. He's written about Forgotten Realms. It has been an aspect of other things that he did. And the fact that he sold it to TSR and they're still running with it, I think is certainly a remark for that. One of the really nice things is that Ed, besides this enormous science fiction and fantasy career, behind all that, he has spent his life working as a librarian. And there's something quite wonderful about that.
I am pleased by this honor, but more humbled than proud. There are so many Canadian SF and fantasy storytellers whose pencil cases I don't feel I'm fit to carry. I'm not sure I deserve this. And yet, I love it, and thank you. Most writing is a lonely business as opposed to telling stories by the fireside or sitting around with friends and family. So it sure feels good to be invited to join the party. I love telling stories, and I love making friends, and the stories have brought me the friends. Thank you for making me welcome, and I hope I've got a few more good stories in me.
Well, that was inspiring. Well, you know, when you think about these three people who've been inducted into the Hall of Fame, and congratulations, Julie and Hayden and Ed, but the inspiration, as Ed just said, the friendships, whether the realms have been forgotten, whether they're better realms, whether, as Hayden said, science fiction is about that tomorrow can be better, or whether we're evolving into the Wonder Zone. That is what science fiction and fantasy and the speculative realms can bring to us. And I just want to say a hearty congratulations to all three inductees.
Now, Mark, I know that you found me on the back deck tonight, but what I would like to share with everyone watching is that I am actually science fiction and fantasy. I love all of the work, and actually I am an educator and a elementary administrator. And so from my perspective, what Hayden was sharing around the importance of creating, of reading, those are the types of things that really touch my heart. And I have been so honored to produce all of the videos that you're seeing tonight. I've really had a sense of your passion, of your commitment, and the creative endeavors that you have devoted your life towards. So congratulations to this year's Hall of Fame inductees.
Now, we have some special announcements as well. Before we get into the awards segment of the show, we have some special announcements about some forthcoming changes and exciting news for what's coming with the Aurora Awards.
We certainly do. And first, to explain those changes, here is Cliff.
Evening, everyone. As the awards administrator, I wanted to talk a bit about the changes that will be taking place for next year's award. During our monthly meeting, the KISFA board discussed and approved some changes to the rules for the awards process. The first two relate directly to eligibility. The first works in our professional category will only be considered eligible if they are commercially available, such as through a retailer or an online seller. If a work is only available through things such as a Kickstart subscription, it would not be available to be on the list for eligibility. Also, we are now requiring that at least 9 approved works be on any eligibility list. If not, that eligibility list would not continue on to the nomination stage and no award would be given out for that. The board felt that there needed to be some minimum number of works to give members a reasonable choice. The nomination process has a similar rule, requiring at least 3 works must have at least 5 nominations before a category can be on the final ballot. We are now allowing a finalist to have just 1 work on the ballot in any given category. This means that if a finalist has more than 1 work in the top 5 nominated works, then only the one with the highest number of nominations will be included. This gives more creators a chance to be on the final ballot. A nominee can be on the ballot in multiple categories, but only once within each. The KISWA board felt that there were other changes that we wanted to make, but they required a vote by our members. So this was done as part of the online voting during our AGM in June. The following changes were all approved by our membership and will take effect, of course, for 2023. First, we will be merging the fan organizational category with the fan-related works. Why? Well, both categories have been shrinking over the last 4 to 5 years. We can't blame all of this on COVID. If we did not make this change, either one or both of these categories might not be on the ballot due to the requirement to have at least 9 approved works on any eligibility list. This change strengthens the remaining category. We've done this in the past when a fan category was not strong enough to stand on its own. We also decided to drop the visual presentation category. There are a number of reasons, but the main one was that the board felt we should stick with what we do best, and that is works that are directly related to the written word. And the last change to the categories will be that the best artist category will now be best cover art / interior illustration. The current best artist category is the only one where a creator was not judged just on a single work. In a lot of cases, they were judged on a body of work for the year. We also wanted to focus on works that are connected to the written word. So works that will be considered will be covers to books or magazines or an illustration within them. These changes are always important to make sure that the awards stay relevant.
Good evening. My name is Shannon Allen, and I am the Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association board member, responsible for the Aurora Awards package, publicity, and grants. It is the vision of the Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association to promote and showcase Canadian writers of science fiction, fantasy, and its subgenres, and to also support writers in the process of education and growth. To further support that vision, we are proud to announce the Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association Professional Development Grant. This grant is to enable Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association members to pursue education and professional development that helps them expand their skill set. Starting in 2023, we will be awarding a total of $2,500 over the year to new writers, writers new to the genre, or writers changing focus, for example, short story to novel. This grant will be awarded to successful applicant or applicants to cover up to 75% of the cost of developmental avenues, such as courses, retreats, writing software, a book coach, or editorial fees for their first book. There will be 2 submission windows in 2023. The first January 1st to March 31st, with funds awarded by May 15th, and June 1st to August 31st, with funds awarded October 15th. Full details will be posted on the KISFA website in the near future. Thank you, and congratulations to all of tonight's nominees and winners.
Indeed, congratulations to all the nominees and the people who will be receiving the awards tonight. Speaking of the awards, we want to have a look at that thing, don't we?
Well, I've never seen one.
Well, we were nominated, but we never got one. You see, we have the pin, right?
So it's bigger than the pin?
I believe so. I don't know. I've seen pictures, but I've never seen one. Maybe could you think Cliff can help us out with that?
I think he might be able to. Let's see.
So, for those who have not seen an Aurora Award, this is our current design. And the name of the winner will be presented here. And after the awards, I will be whisking those away to all of the lucky people who are taking home an Aurora.
There you go, Liz. There is the Aurora Award. Pretty
This
exciting.
is really, really exciting, Mark. I know that I have in front of me the first envelope that was delivered very, very quickly, obviously, because of Ryan.
Very quickly, yeah.
Very, very quickly. And so our first category that we are going to be looking at today is best fan-related work. So why don't we get started with our first presenter.
Good evening. My name is Randy McCharles, and I'm a full-time author and past Aurora Award winner in multiple categories, including the category I am presenting tonight. Among my current writing projects is the Connecticut Gumshoe Time Travel series, published through Tyche Books. I'm also the chair of When Words Collide, the festival hosting this year's awards. This evening, I'm honored to present to you the finalists in the category Best Fan Related. For those unsure of what this category means, fan defines works offered by their creators for free, as opposed to professional, which defines works that generate direct income for their creators. Related is a catch-all for works not covered in other award categories. As a creator myself who believes in paying it forward and offering some of my creations at low or no cost in order to make them accessible, I have a fondness for this awards category. And so, the finalists in the category Best Fan Related are Broadcast from the Wasteland by Brandon Crilly and Evan May, podcast. The Feather and the Book, an improvised musical story by Terry Marin, YouTube. How I Taught My Dragon, Kindergarten Education Through Genre Media by Jen Demoray and Caladri Demoray, Jen Eric Designs. Sci and Sci-Fi, Connecting the Public to Science and Technology Through Storytelling by Ron S. Friedman, YouTube. And The World Shapers by Edward Willett, podcast.
Oh boy, do I do a drum roll for you while you open the envelope?
This is really exciting. Now, one of the things that I do want to share, I don't think that there's squishy awards.
No soft squishy awards?
I think no. It's a good idea. You might want to share that with others. But no, I don't think, there might be some people that are thinking that. But let's find out who the first award of this evening, there's the seal, of Best Fan-Related Work goes to Broadcasts from the Wasteland, Brandon Crilly and Evan May, podcast.
Let's bring him up from the green room.
Holy man. Thank you. I should have prepared something, which is the catch-all line that people should never say. First of all, I got to give a shout out to Evan May, our co-host for Broadcasts, who unfortunately is not here because even though he does the podcast with me, He doesn't really like being the face of things, so he scheduled a heart surgery in order to not be here. So sending much love to my brother Evan for being a part of broadcasts. This is incredible. I honestly didn't think this was going to happen, so I'm not entirely sure what to say. But this is very, very cool. Much love to everyone who nominated us and voted for us. And yeah, the only thing I'll say is, for those of you that who want to create and go out there and do stuff, do it. I think we need more podcasts and fan-related works and whatnot here in Canada. And if anyone out there wants to create and do one, we're here. I'm happy to support you in any way that I can, because we need more diverse creators in this category. So yeah, that's all I've got. Much love to everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and congratulations. All of the fans are coming in with all of those, and with congratulations for your win. Congratulations.
And in answer to those of you in the green room, if you're trying to leave comments, you've got to go leave those comments on Facebook or YouTube live stream. And then if you were a nominee in the category, we only have so much room, so many snacks in the green room. So if you're no longer up for another award, if you could please vacate the seat and let someone else come in and get cozy, have a few snacks, because we're going to move on. I have the next envelope. I have the envelope here for Best Fan Organization, and Marie Billiot is going to be announcing the nominees and introducing this category for us.
Let's check it out.
Hello, my name is Marie Bilodeau, and I am very proud to be introducing the award for Fan Organizational. To me, this category is very important because it helped me to meet my people, all of you, when I first joined science fiction and fantasy, and especially in the writer's world. So thank you to all of the wonderful event organizers out there. But this category isn't just for event organizers. This category is for organized activities such as non-profit/non-professional events related to conventions, clubs, or readings. This includes literary, gaming, comic, and media activities. This category is open to both English and French language organizers. And the nominees are A.E. Prévost, Argo Author Chats; Katie Brisky and Jen R. Albert, Ephemera Reading Series; Fleurette Benoit, Halcon; Randy McCharles, When Words Collide; Diane Lacey, World Fantasy Convention. And the winner is...
All right, very exciting. Best Fan Organizational, Randy McCharles, When Words Collide, Calgary.
Congratulations, Randy.
Well, I'm really thrilled. We had some really fantastic nominations this year, and I seriously thought it was anyone's game. I am so thankful that Canadians have recognized When Words Collide with all of our organizers and volunteers for the work we did last year. Actually, we brought our 10th anniversary festival online last year due to the pandemic. I love conventions and festivals. I love meeting my people. And I want to reach out and thank you all for recognizing the work that we have done in this past year. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Randy. That's a very exciting honor. Mark, what is our next award?
The next award is for Best Artist. No, I got it wrong. The next award is for Best Fan Writing and Publications. And Fan Writing and Publications is going to be presented by Steve Fonstock.
Hi, Steve Fonstock here for the Fan Writing and Publications Award. This category covers fanzines, fan newsletters, articles, blogs, review sites, and publications, either in print or by electronic means, which contain a significant percentage of material relating to the Aurora Awards genres. Material can include articles relating to topics such as books, movies, comics, gaming, film or music, or conventions. Works cannot promote commercial products or be dedicated to a professional group or person.
And the nominees are Canadian SF&F Book and Magazine Reviews in Amazing Stories Online, R. Graham Cameron. In Defense of the Humble Cold Plate, How the Peculiar, Distinct, and Different Enriches Fiction, Krista D. Ball. Polar Borealis Magazine, issues number 17 to number 20, edited by R. Graham Cameron. Polar Starlight Magazine, issues number 1 to number 4, edited by Rhea E. Rose. Young People Read Old SFF, curated by James Davis Nichol, online. All right, you've got the envelope there, Liz?
I do. And the Aurora 2022 goes to Polar Borealis, issues number 17 to 20, edited by R. Graham Cameron.
Awesome. I don't believe
Looking in the green room.
Don't believe you made it into the green room. So we are going to, on behalf of Mr. Cameron, acknowledge the work of the members of KISFA, of the board members, of the conference as well. Thank everyone for voting, and say great appreciation for your support and your acknowledgement of the amazing work that he does. Oh, there he is. He's in the green room. Let's bring him up. Oh, no, I take back everything I said.
Oh, take back everything.
You can actually hear from the award winner himself.
Here he is.
Bring him up. No, I take back everything I said.
Oh, take back everything.
You can actually hear from the award winner himself.
Here he is.
Bring him up. No, I take back everything I said.
Oh, take back everything.
You can actually hear from the award winner himself.
Here he is.
Bring him up. No, I take back everything I said.
Oh, take back everything.
You can actually hear from the award winner himself.
Here he is.
Bring him up. No, I take back everything I said.
Oh, take back everything.
You can actually hear from the
unfortunately, I'm not sure, but I think we are caught in a wormhole.
Is it kind of like when somebody's calling into the radio station and they have the radio on loud and you get that weird feedback?
I feel like it's
we
that.
weren't able to hear him, unfortunately.
We were like kind of caught into some. Is it a wormhole? Is that
maybe it's a wormhole? It's a science fiction thing.
Wormhole?
Potentially, Graham, if you can shut off the live feed.
It's a time loop.
Time loop, Kelly. Of course.
Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that.
Twilight Zone.
The Twilight Zone. Susan.
Yeah. Oh, we actually lost him? Okay.
Okay.
Well, I don't take that back, and I want to thank everyone on his back.
But we would, if we get Graham back at any point in time, we will pop him back on for him to share his thoughts as he accepts his
he's coming
award.
Back. He's
Wait a minute.
All right, time loop. We got him in turn.
Here we go.
Graham, your microphone isn't working. Can you see it in the settings column there? That's
just
a good
jump
idea. The time warp.
Left.
Just step to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna work on this, Graham. We're gonna get you back at some point in time. You pop in, we'll figure it out. But we will be moving on to our next category. Mark.
Well, I have the envelope here, basically the sealed envelope for Best Artist for 2022. And that category is going to be introduced by Barb Goller-Smith.
Here we go.
I'm Barb Goller-Smith, one of the fiction editors for On Spec magazine. I'd like to acknowledge that the traditional land on which I reside is in Treaty 6 territory. It is my great pleasure and honor to present this year's nominees in the Best Artist category. This category covers works done by an artist, either for a specific piece or pieces of art, or for a body of work done during the prior calendar year. An artist can be only on the ballot once, and the category is open to both English and French artists. The nominees are Samantha Biko, cover for Seasons Between Us, Tales of Identities and Memories. James Beveridge, cover for On Spec magazine, issue 116, and the CD cover for Distant Past's album, The Final Stage. Swati Chavda, covers for Polar Starlight number 1, plus Polar Borealis numbers 18 and 20. Dan O'Driscoll, Red World Blue Star cover for On Spec magazine, issue 117, and the cover for Star Song. Veronica Park, cover for the annual Migration of Clouds. And the winner is...
Thank you, Barb. The award for Best Artist goes to Samantha Biko. Congratulations, Samantha. I don't see Samantha in the green room, and I don't believe we have a pre-recorded one from Samantha, but we do have Samantha pre-recorded coming up later on. Just want to say on behalf of Samantha, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone for voting for this great honor, and she will wear it with pride. And I think, do we have Graham back? Are we going to give Graham another shot? See if the tech.
Go.
No sound still, so that's going to be an odd one. That is kind of weird. Well, at least we can see Graham.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Just
do you want to like give a wave and a thank you and a high five and that sort of thing? So.
Thank you.
Maybe, Graham, if you leave those in the comments section, people can get a chance and we can maybe pop your comments up if you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube.
Awesome.
So congratulations to Graham and congratulations to Samantha.
Congratulations. Now, our next category is Best Visual Presentation. And Mark, who are we going to be seeing? This is an exciting one.
Yeah, this is an author I haven't heard of in a while, but he has some exciting news. We're going to hear from Ado van Belkom.
Here we go.
Hi, I'm Ado van Belkom. If you ever wondered how to pronounce that name properly, here's a couple of tips. Ado, like potato, and Van Belkom, like you're welcome. But enough about my name. We're here to talk about the category of visual presentation. And why am I talking about that category? Well, it's all because of this, the Aurora Award. This Aurora Award was won in 2005 for my novel Wolfpack, which won in the Best Long Form in English category. The following year, it also won the Silver Birch Award, which is presented by the Ontario Library Association and voted on by elementary school students across the province. And that was it for a while. There was a couple other books in the series, which was great. Lone Wolf, Cry Wolf, and Wolf Man. And then things kind of died down a little bit. Except last year, about a year and a half ago, there was interest in film rights to Wolfpack. Well, the book had been out of print for a long time, so we were glad to have the interest. Fast forward a year and a half, and suddenly Wolfpack is going to be the basis of a new TV show to be airing on Paramount Plus, executive produced by Jeff Davis of Teen Wolf and Criminal Minds fame, and starring none other than Buffy the Vampire Slayer herself, Sarah Michelle Gellar. I know, I don't even believe it myself. Now, the category itself. It covers movies, television shows, stage plays, and similar matters. The award recognizes excellence in screenwriting, direction, cinematography, and overall production quality. Now, in order to be a nominee, you must be a producer, a director, or a showrunner. Okay, that's enough about that stuff. Let's get to it, and best of luck to all the nominees.
And the nominees are The Shaman's Apprentice, Zacharias Connick, Kingilt Productions, Tackett Productions. Dune 2021, directed by Denis Villeneuve, Legendary Entertainment. Free Guy, directed by Sean Levy, Century Studios. Ghostbusters Afterlife, directed by Jason Reitman, Columbia Pictures. Winona Earp, Season 4, Episodes 7 to 12. Emily Andras, showrunner, 724 Films.
Okay, here we go. And the 2022 Aurora Award Best Visual Presentation goes to Dune 2021, Denis Villeneuve, director, Legendary Entertainment.
Fantastic. Personal relationship with Kevin J. Anderson, who's going to be very excited on his behalf. I don't think our director is in the green room today, so we'll just say on behalf of the winner, congratulations. Thank you so much, and thank everyone who is involved in the production.
Fantastic. So our next award, Mark, is a related work.
Yeah, best related work. And we are going to, I've got the envelope right here. We are going to hear from Hayden Trenholm, who's going to announce this category.
One of our recipients of the Hall of Fame Inductee Award.
Indeed.
Very exciting. Let's see.
I'm very happy to be presenting in the Best Related Work category tonight. I know how great it is to be nominated, having been the recipient of 5 nominations myself. I won twice, the second being the best because I was able to share the award with my good friend and business partner at Bundoran Press, Mike Reimer. This award is often about sharing because it not only showcases the winner's work, but the work of others as well. If the award goes to the editor of an anthology or magazine, the work still contains the stories of many individual writers. If it goes to a single author collection, you know there were other creators involved along the way. I was always big on the sharing aspect. I told the contributors they could come by my place and look at the award anytime they wanted. The Best Related Work category covers works of criticism, book reviews, CDs, critical editions, screenplays, anthologies, or a single author collection. This category covers all professional works that are not covered in other professional categories. And the nominees are Alias Space and Other Stories, Kelly Robson, Subterranean Press. Food of My People, edited by Candace Jane Dorsey and Ursula Flug, Exile Editions. Neo-Opsis Science Fiction Magazine, issue 32, edited by Carl Johansson. On Spec Magazine, issues 116, 117, and 118, managing editor Diane L. Bolton, Copperpig Writers Society, and Seasons Between Us, Tales of Identities and Memories, edited by Susan Forrest and Lucas K. Law, Laxa Media Group. And the award goes to...
All right, got the envelope for Best Related Work, which goes to Alias Space and Other Stories. Congratulations, Kelly Robson.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. I am so honored to receive this award. This book is really important to me. It's my very, very soul. And I would like to thank my editors at Subterranean Press, Bill Schaefer, Yanni Kuzna, and their staff member, Geraldine Lance, for just putting out a beautiful luxury hardcover. Thank you to all the voters, and thank you to my peers and friends who are in the Canadian science fiction community, who truly give me life. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Congratulations again, Kelly. I love seeing the comments as people are congratulating folks live. It's not quite the same as the applause you would get in a live audience, but still pretty cool that you can be comfortable at home, right?
For our next presentation, it is Best Poem or Song. And Mark, who is our presenter for this category?
I believe we have the honor of hearing this category from Joe Walton.
Let's see.
So, this is the category of best poem or song, and this category covers poems and songs. A song may include lyrics and music. I'm Jo Walton, and I won in this category last year, and I want to start by apologizing for not showing up for the Zoom thing. I was in Rome, and so the time zone was a little weird, and I thought, but I will stay up for the Aurora Awards. And then I was very tired, and I started falling asleep, and I thought, oh, I won't win anyway, and then I went to sleep. And I woke up in the next morning and discovered that I had won, which was just so exciting and terrific to wake up in Rome and find that you'd won the Aurora Award in Best Poem or Song. Because this is a very important category, but the reason I was sure I wouldn't win was the other things in the category were so great. It is really a category where every year we have really, really great nominees, and every single one totally deserving to win, and it really is genuinely an honor to be on this ballot. And this year's awesome nominees are Caroline Klink, Tiffany Morris, Matt Moore, Yilin Wang, Richard Van Camp, and James Grutkowski.
This one's pretty exciting because, unlike our presenter, there are many people in the green room who are nominees, waiting to find out who is the 2022 Aurora Award for Best Poem or Song, and that is Cat People Cafe by Caroline Klink, Polar Starlight number 3.
Congratulations, Carolyn. Is Carolyn in the green room?
I don't actually see Carolyn.
Oh, there's a lot of poetry going on in the green room right now. Some amazing poets are all in there right now, but I don't see Carolyn. So I suppose on behalf of Carolyn, we should accept this great honor and thank everyone so much for the honor and for voting in this year's awards.
What I love is fellow nominees also congratulating the winner in these categories.
Yeah,
wonderful.
right from the green room.
Yeah, fabulous.
As well.
Congratulations. Our next category is Best Graphic Novel or Comic. And our presenter for that, Mark.
Our presenter was not in the green room earlier in order to accept her award. Congratulations again, Samantha. But Samantha is going to, and this would be her second award, she is going to pass this award along this year in this category to someone else. Let's hear from Samantha.
Let's see.
It's so nice to see you all, and thank you so much for taking time out of your summer tonight to celebrate the nominees of the 2022 Aurora Awards. I'm humbled to be presenting the award for Best Graphic Novel / Comic, an honor I received in 2022 and one I am so excited to bestow, like a commemorative statue fairy. This category covers works that combines both words and art to tell a story. This category includes graphical novels, stories, or comics. Works can be published as a standalone work or within an anthology or collection, either in print or on the internet. Nominations can be based on the written word, illustration, or color work. And the nominees for Best Graphic Novel Comic are Crash and Burn by Kate Larking and Finn Lucullen, Astris Press. Critical Role, The Mighty Nine, Origins by Jester Lavore, Sam Meggs, and Hunter Severin Bondian. Goblins by Ellipsis Hannah Stevens, webcomic. It Never Rains by Kari Morin, webcomic. Shadow Life by Hiromi Gato with art by Anne Zhu, First Second Books. Thor and Loki, Double Trouble, Mariko Tamaki and Guri Hiru, Marvel Comics. And the award goes to...
It Never Rains, Kari Marin, web comic. Congratulations, Kari.
I do see Kari, and here she is.
Coming up from the green room. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I didn't expect that, so I have no speech, but I will make a speech anyway. There is a penguin behind me, and it is watching over us all. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. I'm very honored by this. Sorry, I'm not having a very good day today, so this makes it better. This makes the day better, and I think everyone everywhere should read comics, read more comics. Comics are great. They tell stories in a way that is different from just words. They also have pictures. I know this is I don't know what I'm saying. I am saying strange things, but I believe in storytelling of all types. And I think that using words and pictures together to tell a story, to tell a story that goes on in the most interesting way possible is something that we don't appreciate enough sometimes. And all of the very, very interesting and diverse comics in this category that were nominated in this category demonstrate that. So have a good day, everybody, and thank you, and awesome. Yay! Bye.
Oh,
I was following Carrie's advice. Read more comic books. Sorry.
like not right now.
Oh, not right now. Okay, sorry.
Maybe not right now.
Do it now.
Thank you, Kari. Congratulations. And you're right. Read all the comics.
Read all the comics.
Read
amazing. There's
all
so
the
many
comics.
amazing creators out there that we can read, including Kari and all the nominees as well.
Awesome. For our next award, Mark, we're getting into some really exciting,
Yeah, this is short story, isn't it? It's like
Short
little.
things.
Yeah,
Little.
No, well, they could be this big or this big or this big.
Well, let's find out from this year's presenter how big? A short
hear
story
from,
can be.
Yeah. Liz Westbrook Trunham is going to take us home into the short stories.
Okay, thanks, Liz.
It's my privilege to present the Pre-Aurora Award for Best Short Story for 2021. This category covers works with fewer than 7,500 words, specifically short form fiction such as short stories and flash fiction. This award category excites my interest like no other. I love the short story form, the way it challenges an author to deliver a tsunami, all distilled into a teardrop. I've struggled and frolicked with the form for as long as I've been writing. Sometimes it'll come in a draft or two, and sometimes I work on a single story for years. I remember a very long time ago presenting a rather well-worked story to my critique group, and one member grumbled, "This isn't new." And I said, "Well, no, it is." And they helped me again. And one version of that story won a contest soon after. Wait for it. The last version appeared in Amazing Stories and was nominated for an Aurora. 20 years later. Now that felt good. And I think the story's done. So here we are with this year's nominees. A few pages each, quick to read. Yet I can guess at the years and tears worth of effort it took to extrude each tale. It takes the writer work to get here. And that work has paid off. There's a variety, sophistication, and skill here that truly represents the high quality of short fiction in our country today. Congratulations, and I really mean this, to all the nominees on the ballot. And they are C.J. Chung for Clear Waters in Seasons Between Us, Tales of Identity and Memories, Laxa Media. Rati Mehrotra for 18 Days of Barbaric in Uncanny Magazine. Elizabeth Whitten for Elisa's Eyes in On Spec Magazine, number 117, September. Phoebe Barton for The Mathematics of Fairyland in Lightspeed Magazine. Susan Forrest for The Only Road in Shapers of Worlds, Volume 2. And Eric Choi for Second Thoughts, Seasons Between Us, Tales of Identities and Memories.
Okay, you've got the envelope there.
I have the envelope. This is pretty exciting because many of our nominees are in the green room waiting for the 2022 Aurora Award, Best Short Story, The Mathematics of Fairyland, Phoebe Barton.
Congratulations, Phoebe.
Now I do see. Oh, there she is.
Wait,
Congratulations.
What? You were buffering and I didn't even hear it.
Congratulations. The
Phoebe, you won. Congratulations.
Aurora Award, Phoebe Barton.
Oh, okay. Wow. I never thought I'd be positioned to actually read this, which is why I only wrote it 4 hours before the ceremony. But I'm so glad that this weird little second-person story about the desperation of grief resonated so strongly. To everyone who voted for my story and everyone who read it, thank you so much. To all my fellow Clarion West Smacklings, this story wouldn't even exist without you, so thank you. And to my mom and my sister who are watching this, I know you've always believed in me, and that got me to today. So thank you again, everyone, and fascism must be destroyed.
Congratulations, Phoebe. So exciting. Sorry, we're going to get into better. So
just tech issues and buffering and stuff like that. Congrats so much, Phoebe. That is fantastic.
You did your speech 4 hours ago. We only knew about 4 hours ago that we were hosting. So it's good. It's good on par. It's good. Congratulations.
All right, we are going to go into the next category. I believe I have the envelope for that one. And the next category is the Best Novelette. And to present and introduce Best Novelette, we're going to hear from Kelly Robson.
Best Novelette Novella is the newest category in the Aurora Awards. It was first awarded last year in 2021. Before that, novellas and novelettes were in the same category as short stories. The splitting of short fiction into 2 awards reflects the burgeoning of longer-length short fiction in our genres and the vital importance of short fiction of all lengths. Novellas and novelettes can carry the intellectual and emotional weight of novels. They are a tour de force of writing prowess. I am so honored to introduce your finalists. The nominees for the 2022 Aurora Award for Best Novelette or Novella are The Annual Migration of Clouds by Premi Mohammed, ECW Press. Decay in 5 Stages by Julie E. Cherneda in Derelict, Zombies Need Brains. Lay Down Your Heart by Liz Westbrook Trenholm and Hayden Trenholm in Seasons Between Us, Tales of Identities and Memories. The Return of the Sorceress by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, Subterranean Press. These Lifeless Things, Primi Mohammed, Solaris. And the award goes to...
Okay. Thank you, Kelly. As I open up this envelope, as I try to open up this envelope, here we go. Wow, this one was really stuck there. So the 2020 Aurora Award for Best Novelette Novella goes to the annual Migration of Clouds, Primi Mohammed, ECW Press. Congratulations, Primi.
Wow. Thank you guys so much. Absolutely floored to get a Canadian prize for this ultra hyper local Canadian novella, because most of my other stuff is just kind of written in, oh, it's in a city, it's in a country, I don't say where. But this one's set very close to my heart, you know, at the University of Alberta in the North Saskatchewan River Valley here in Edmonton. Thank you so much. I would like to thank my amazing agent, Michael Curry, my very, very patient and dedicated editor, Jen Albert, at the wonderful Canadian publisher, ECW Press, our cover artist, Veronica Park, who really kind of brought the book to life, and who was a nominee tonight for Best Artist, and of course, the Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association, and everyone who voted. I am honored to receive this award. Thank you.
Congratulations, Frey. We have so many congratulations from other nominees and from fellow creators.
And again, it's just like having that applause right there, coming right into your home.
Congratulations.
All right. We have only two categories left.
Two
categories left.
That's it.
Yeah. And the category, I don't have the envelope for this category. Do you have the envelope for this category?
I do have the envelope for this category.
Excellent.
And this is exciting to me because as an educator, an elementary educator, this is huge for us of YA novels and fiction. So I'm super excited to find out who is the recipient of this year's 2022 Aurora Award for Young Adult Fiction. And why don't we check it out? Here we go.
Susan
And
Forbes,
who's
I think, is going to bring us home in this category.
Here we go.
Hi, everyone. I'm thrilled to have been asked to be a presenter for the Young Adult Novel category for this year's Aurora Awards. The Auroras are a huge recognition for achievement in the field of speculative fiction, and my congratulations go out to all the nominees of these fine works. The Young Adult Novel category covers works with over 30,000 words written for young adults or younger. A work that is less than 30,000 words but was published as a standalone book can be allowed in this category if the author wishes it. An author may request that their work be judged in another category instead by contacting the awards administrator. The nominees for the Young Adult Novel category for 2022 are The Gold Flame of Seneca, Elizabeth Whitten, Kettlescon Press. Iron Widow, Sharon J. Zhao, Penguin Teen. The Serpent's Fury, Kelly Armstrong, Puffin, Canada. Star Song, Ed Willett, Shadowpaw Press. Walking in Two Worlds, Wab Kanu, Penguin Team. And the award goes to...
Oh.
The award keeps disappearing.
Yeah, the award keeps disappearing. Okay, this is pretty exciting. Opening it up. Oh, this one's a sticky one. The 2022 Aurora Award Best YA Novel goes to Walking in Two Worlds, Wob Canoe, Penguin Teen. Now, we don't see the author in the green room.
In the green room, no.
So we will accept this award on their behalf. And thank you so much for all of the nominees in this category.
Awesome. I have the last envelope of the evening with me right here, and this is for Best Novel of 2022. And to introduce this category, we have a previous winner, Sylvia Marenco Garcia, is going to bring us home on this one.
All right, here we go.
Hi, I'm Silvia Moreno Garcia, author of Mexican Gothic and the daughter of Dr. Moreau. I'm very happy to be here today presenting to you the nominees for the Best Novel Award for the Aurora. This category covers works with over 40,000 words. The nominees are A Broken Darkness, Primi Mohammed, Solaris. Jade Legacy, Fonda Lee, Orbit. The Quantum War, Derek Hunskin, Solaris. Red X, David Demchuk, Strange Light, Penguin Random House. Soulstar, Theo Polk, Tor.com. And the award goes to...
The award goes to Jade Legacy, Fonda Lee, Orbit. Now, Jade was not able to. I believe Jade, Fonda was actually going to be in a vehicle during the live broadcast, so sent a pre-recording that I believe we can pop up just now for the acceptance.
Wow. I am convinced that my odds of winning an award go up dramatically every time I am not physically able to be in attendance. And this enormous honor that you've given to me tonight just reinforces that belief. I cannot wait until we're holding the Aurora Awards in person again and I can finally attend and make up for all the pent-up partying that I'm due tonight. Being recognized for the third book in an epic fantasy trilogy that took me 7 years to write means that there were a lot of individuals involved in bringing this project to its conclusion. Far too many people that I can thank here. I had the invaluable support of 2 editors, Sarah Guan, who acquired the Greenbone Saga, and Nivea Evans, who stepped in for the finale. Thank you to everyone on the publishing team at Orbit who worked on these books. And thank you as well to the folks at Hachette Canada who set up my Canadian events and made sure that my novels could be found at Chapters Indigo and indie bookstores all across the country. To my fellow nominees for Best Novel, Primi, Derek, David, CL, I'm so pleased to have shared a ballot with you. You are such immensely talented colleagues. I wish we could hang out together over drinks at the bar tonight and hope that we will get a chance another time. And most importantly, thank you to all of you, the voters of the Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association and readers of the Greenbone Saga for embracing these books from the beginning. The Aurora Award was the first major award that Jade City won back in the summer of 2018, which wasn't all that long ago, but seems like a past era. Back then, I was in the middle of the overwhelming task of drafting the second book in the trilogy, and I had doubts about if and how it would get done, much less if it would eventually become successful. So the Aurora Award was this collective vote of confidence that meant so much to me at the time, and it is even more meaningful to me now, 4 years later, to be assured by those same voters that I stuck the landing. These books are not the sort of epic fantasy novel that charts the rise and fall of nations. There is no overarching magical battle between good or evil. The epic scale in these books comes from the inevitable passage of time and the gradual change that's wrought in every person who goes through life trying to do the best that they can for their family and their loved ones. And none of us are magic jade-wielding gangster warriors. But for the past few years, most of us have indeed been simply trying to do our best under difficult circumstances and to do right by our own little clans. So this novel will always be especially important to me because of what it represented during the time that I was writing it. And I'm just so grateful to have been able to share it with all of you. And thank you so, so much for this immense honor.
Awesome. Congratulations again, Fonda. And so fun to see all of the comments that we received from the live viewers. Congratulations from many folks. It was so exciting to see that. Again, it's like that virtual applause, right? There's also a lot of talk about going out and celebrating with drinks tonight, which would be a lot easier if we were all hanging out together in the same physical space. But I know I am going to be hoisting some drinks, and I'm going to be congratulating all of the nominees and all of those who took home awards this evening. What an exciting and amazing event. And I have to say, Liz, thank you so much for joining me. You were reading a great science fiction novel on the back deck when I interrupted and asked if you could join me for this.
Oh,
so I
no.
appreciate that. Yeah, that was amazing.
Oh, no.
I also want to express our appreciation for the work that the KISFA board has done over the past year. And this is from coordinating all aspects of the awards, the Hall of Fame, the improvements that you've heard of, improvements to the website, publicity, and the folks who worked hard to make it easy for fans to have their voice in who takes home these awards, because this is a fan-based award, which means everyone who is a member gets to vote, which is exciting. Murray Moore and his team have done a great job. If it was not for them, it's not for the board and all of the volunteers who helped them, we would not be here this evening, dressed up and fancy and with all the fun envelopes that we got to open tonight, because it takes a lot of dedication and hard work from the board members, as well as from so many amazing creatives in our fantastic Canadian science fiction and fantasy community.
I would like to take an opportunity to thank all of the nominees, the presenters, for sharing your creative works. As an absolute outsider into this realm, it has been an absolute honor and a privilege to create the videos that chronicle your work. And I've been so captivated by the backstories of how you have come to science fiction and fantasy work. And I'm just very honored to be here this evening. So with that, I believe that we have a little bit from our
coordinator, from Cliff, yeah.
Here we go.
Thanks for joining us this evening. Congratulations to all the nominees and those taking home awards and first-time nominee pins. I hope you enjoyed the ceremony. For those that are curious about how the voting went and are a number geek like me, I'll be posting the full details this weekend. Thanks, Mark, Liz, for all of your hard work. You did an amazing job. And for everybody else, join us in January to help us create next year's eligibility lists. Good evening.
Awesome. That is fantastic. I want to remind all viewers, we have such a bustling, amazing community of creatives. I strongly recommend you check out all of the nominees and those who brought home awards. You can check out their books. You can check them out at online bookstores. You can go into your local community bookstores. Always great to support those local bookstores. Go ask for those books at the library. And again, anywhere on social media, do hold up a virtual glass of cheer and congratulate the nominees and those who brought home awards. Congratulations again, everyone. And again, thank you, Liz. You are the bestest co-host a man could ask for.
Thank you, Mark. And congratulations for all this year's nominees and Hall of Fame inductees. Bye-bye.
Right.